book lovers, storytellers, and hello, world. It's another great Friday to learn something from our amazing authors. We are actually live in all our social media platform, most especially Facebook and YouTube of Readers Magnet. So don't forget to follow and subscribe. My name is Jean, and this is Readers Magnet featured author interview. Today, we'll be talking to an award winning author who will bring us to the rock and roll world through her book entitled Hound Dog. Let's all welcome Rebecca Hendricks. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
That's good to know. We're also thankful that you're able to join us today, and grace us with your knowledge about rock and roll. Perhaps we're so excited to get to know you
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Do you have the copy of your book with you right now?
Yeah, actually I do.
That's perfect. Can you show it to us, please? There you go, the book of Rebecca, Hound Dog. That's pretty cool. I like the cover itself.
Yes. Yes, I'm really proud of the cover. I get a lot of compliments on it. Um
Exactly. But it looks so cool. It looks so classic, the same time modern.
yes.
It's a
Yeah,
mixed one.
yeah, I wanted it to have a 50s feel. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
like the you know, the writing,
Yeah,
the font, and then it's got the little stars that were
I
popular
see that.
back in that day.
Very
Yeah.
creative, very creative. Congratulations, Rebecca. That is an amazing book. But yes, before talking about the book itself, our audience right now are actually excited to get to know more about Rebecca Hendricks. Can you tell us more about you?
Well, yeah, I've made a career basically working in the judicial system. I'm
Uh
currently
huh.
a judicial assistant. I work in the court system as a clerk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then in my off hours, I like to write, and um, my husband's a photographer, so we go out and take pictures. We go
I
out.
love that.
We like to do some urban exploring and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it's really fun and exciting.
Absolutely. Well, that is awesome. I do love photography as well.
Yeah,
I just hope I can have
yeah.
full time doing that. Is he doing full time photography?
Well, he's retired right now. So
Okay.
yeah, it started out as a hobby, but he's
Mm.
just, it is more or less a hobby, but yeah, he just loves it. He goes out and takes pictures pretty much every day if he can. He's trying to
Wow.
perf- he's trying to perfect his taking pictures of wildlife right now.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And that's actually
Mhm.
something that I do love to, do because I'm actually into adventure, camping,
Cool.
hiking, trekking and all.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
do love
awesome.
taking pictures. Right.
That's
Do you
awesome.
do you
Yeah.
do you love outdoors?
I do.
Amazing.
We
Wow.
go
That's
camping. We go camping and you know,
mm-hmm.
we have a dog that we take with us, and she's our baby.
Great.
And so
Wow, that sounds awesome. That's so
yeah.
cute. What dog is that, if you don't mind me asking?
She's a golden retriever, and
Great.
she's 10 years old, and her name is
10
Haley.
years. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's a cute name. We have a
Yeah.
dog as well, and his name is Waffle. It's a golden
Aw.
retriever.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
a
They're the
golden
best
retriever,
dogs.
extra
Yeah.
large one. So I
Oh.
cannot carry him anywhere because he's bigger than me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly, it's quite big. So
Yeah.
yes, I cannot take him out all the time. But yeah, from time to time, I love to play with him inside his pen.
Yep.
Well,
Right.
that's that's a great coincidence right here now. Well,
Yeah.
yes, Rebecca, let's talk about the book that you've written. It's Hound Dog. So can you show it to us and of course tell everyone where can we get a copy if we wanted to?
Okay, so yeah, this is the book. It's currently available on Amazon right now, the ebook.
Hmm.
You can
Right?
get the paperback through Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and I think that might be about it for right now.
Uh-huh. The
Um,
main resellers. And I believe it's also available in some other online resellers. They just need
yeah,
to go to Uncle Google and click Hound Dog and they can see it everywhere.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. How about a website? Do you have a website where people can check out the book of yours and about you as well?
Yes, it's www. Uh, RebeccaHendricksAuthor.com.
Great. So yes, everyone, you can check out Rebecca Hendricks and her book, www.rebeccahendricks dot RebeccaHendricksAuthor.com. And we got a compliment from one of our Facebook, viewer. Thank you,
Thank you.
Hassan.
Thank you. Yes,
Nice,
thank you very
nice book.
much.
It is indeed a nice book. And Hassan, you could definitely go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and her website to get a copy of Rebecca Hendricks' book. So let's talk about it right now. I mean,
Okay.
I believe everyone is actually excited to know the story behind this book. Well, can you tell us about the inspiration behind your novel, Hound Dog, and what readers can expect from it?
Well, I actually wrote the first edition when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Um, it wasn't set in the time period that it ended up being set in now, but
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the first one back then, and then I tried to write it again in my 20s.
Uh huh.
Uh, but I was working on another edition of it, and my husband really wanted to read it, so he read it, and he was the one that was like, "This is really awesome. This is something special, and you really need to
Right.
try to do something with it." And I was intimidated, and it's a daunting task. um, but yeah, that's what. But yeah, I just have always loved music
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
rock.
It's cool.
The I guess like any other teenage girl,
Uh huh.
love the rock and rollers.
Exactly.
And
I do love it.
but yeah, I moved into the time period because I think the birth of rock and roll is significant. Um, there was so much that went on during that time that
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think people really realize just how much. There was a lot of controversy behind it,
Mhm.
a lot of, um, you know, problems with it. A lot of people
Right.
were against it. Um,
For sure.
so yeah. So and I just thought it was a great period because it's laid back. I mean, it's just a different time. People were had different
Mm.
attitudes and
Wow,
different
that sounds
thoughts. I
great.
mean. So yeah. And I love history. So that's why.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So it's actually a
Yeah.
mix of, history of music. That sounds amazing. I mean, and then you've written this in a fiction way, right? It's fictional.
Yes, 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 it takes a place in a small town, um,
Mhm.
called Madison,
Madison.
and, they start out, with you start out with is it 4 I think it's 4 band members.
Mhm.
Was it 5? I can't I'm sorry. Anyway,
No problem.
it's 4, and,
Or
they've got their problems. There's already that piece of already working of 'cause
yes.
they kinda got together just as kind of a fluke, a fun thing, let's get
Right.
together, let's jam, let's have some fun, and then one of the lead members is like, "Hey, I wanna do more. I wanna get
Mm.
serious. I wanna take it to the next level."
Right.
And then, the one that started the group with him is like, "Well, wait a second, I don't really want that."
Mhm.
And the other 2 are their musical skills aren't quite there, so
Mhm.
they're not, like, top notch or that good or
Yeah.
anything. So that already starts some kind of, like, conflict. There's already conflict within the group.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, yes, of course. If there is, something that they're not aligned, then absolutely. Well, that is something, quite interesting. And I look forward to read the whole story of this book. I love history and then I love music as
Yeah.
well. So probably it will caught my attention and then definitely I will not put this book until I finish reading it. That
Thank
is
you.
awesome. And
That's an
I
awesome
heard
topic.
that right. Really. Well, I heard actually that you received 2 awards, right?
Yes, yes,
Can you tell us how does it feel to be a recipient of the Bookfest award in 2 categories? The first one was young adult historical fiction and young adult boys and men fiction, right?
yes. It
Yes,
was
yes,
aw
can you
I mean,
share?
it was awesome. It was a dream come true for me because, like you
Wow.
know, I have been writing my entire life. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure if, you know, I would ever succeed, you know, because, um and this is gonna date me and age me, but I tried to get published back in the '80s,
Oh,
and,
I see.
you know, that's back before you know, the internet, before you had
Right.
self-publishing wasn't a
Self-publisher.
thing, and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you really did have to get out there and find that, you know, that
Publisher.
agent, and
Right.
it was tough, and I just I gave up because it was just so
Mm,
hard. But, yeah,
I see.
so it was a dream come true because I've always enjoyed writing history, and
Wow, that's
just
amazing.
to have that recognition by that kind of a group was
Uh-huh.
it was phenomenal.
It is. It is. I mean, that's awesome. Congratulations for that. And it definitely provide or gives you something that, to look forward. That's the reason why there's a book too for this book. Am I right?
Yeah, it's a series, it is a series. Um,
Okay.
the plan, I think, is for 3, but it might go to 4. We'll just have
Wow.
to see how it goes.
You have a
There's a
lot
lot
in your
going
mind
on.
right now.
Well, there's a lot going on in the book. It's not
Uh-huh.
just one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I like to keep books interesting. I like there to be
Absolutely.
separate different things going on, different characters experiencing different things.
Right.
It does make the book a little long, but to me, it makes it more exciting, especially for me as an author, because then I can
Mm-hmm.
write about different things but, you know, they
Right.
all end up coming together, so, yeah.
Well, that is an awesome idea wherein you're going to write something about a specific character. I mean, you have characters in this book. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to know what type of life does this character have, this one, this one, this one. And it is an amazing idea that you're going to, write more series about it. And we'll look forward to that. And I believe that's coming up this probably June or July. See the
Yes,
book two, right?
yes,
Series.
yes,
Book
yes,
two of Hound Dog. That's
yeah,
amazing. Congratulations and looking
thank you,
forward for book three and four, Rebecca. So
thank you.
we'd love to, hear a lot from you. And of course, you've mentioned earlier that you're actually working in a full-time job, right?
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned as well that you spend countless hours writing stories when back when you were a young girl. What drew you to start telling, and how is that a passion evolve over the years?
I don't know, it was just something that I just loved doing, you
Wow.
know? It's like it was just something that it's like it's almost like a gift, you know, because it just comes to
Mm,
me. It just comes to me, and I just
naturally.
yeah. And I just love
Wow.
to I've
I
always
love
loved it. It's a good relaxing thing. It's a good, like, you know, release, and it's a good outlet, you know?
that. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I wish I had the same natural thing that the same like you have. Like naturally, I can write things and be passionate about it. I do write things, but I do write to-do lists.
Right? Right, yeah. Yeah, that's hard for me.
Exactly.
Now that's hard for me to do.
Oh, really?
I
But it's not hard for you to write a whole book.
yeah, I'd rather write fiction than nonfiction, and nonfiction is hard. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It takes a lot of time, thinking,
Mm,
to be, logical. But because in fiction, it's just my point of view. Writing
yeah.
fiction will definitely make you creative. Like you can
Right.
go
Right.
beyond the sky. I don't know. I mean, there's no limitation in that. You can write
Right.
anything since it's fiction anyway. Whatever you
Yeah.
had in mind, whatever you imagine, you can definitely write it down. And that's something that I love when I read fiction book. I do love reading fiction books, and mostly when it talks about what do you call the one a story that has something to tell, that's something to learn from, then
Mhm.
that's one of the books that I definitely read. Just yesterday I finished reading my one book. It talks about speed of life.
Oh,
From for
cool. That's
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's
actually
awesome.
I think J.M. Kelly, the author of the book is J.M. Kelly. So yeah, I just read that. I finished it yesterday and it was great. Now I found
Oh.
your book. I mean, it's actually something to, look forward. I hope I can get a copy of it sooner. So definitely, I have something to have in my hand, and then I probably do binge reading afterwards.
Yeah, and I would love your feedback. I mean, I tell everybody that ever reads
Oh,
it, I really love feedback. I love to hear what people think, what their thoughts were.
absolutely.
If you could always leave a review, that's very helpful
Right.
to the
Exactly.
especially like somebody like me who's an independent author. The more
Mm,
reviews we can get, the better off, the better we do on our
exactly.
books. I mean, I think a lot
Right.
of times people think, oh, review doesn't mean anything. And I mean,
Mm,
even if you get on there and type 3 sentences, it's
right.
better
I mean,
than, so anyway, yeah.
exactly. And I guess, and for me, I'm talking about reviews. It's definitely something that can help the author grow. Why? I'm not sure, but most of the author that I talk to, they definitely use these reviews, as a tool to improve something, right?
Well,
Or
I
to keep.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I
Well,
just know that a lot of people say, like, in my reviews, the start of this book is kind of slow, but it's like,
mm,
uh, if I don't set a good foundation and, like, really set where they're coming from in the beginning, then the rest
yeah,
of it isn't gonna it's I mean, you got like a house, you have to build a good foundation to put
exactly.
the rest of the house on, so
Exactly. I do get it. Well, that's something, and I hope that people that are actually having your book right now, for sure, they're ready. They're getting it from Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Will definitely leave, a little bit of review, and hopefully, while
yeah.
when I can read your book, then I can definitely provide you my own feedback as well. Looking
I
forward
would
to
love
that
that.
one.
Yeah, that would be awesome, I would really appreciate that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Will do by the time I'm done reading it, Rebecca. Well, great. Well, this book of yours actually, it talks about not just rock and roll music or history of music, but it talks about friendship, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was one of the biggest, strongest points that I wanted to have come across,
Yeah.
because I think having friends that that are there for you, those friends that are really there for you, that
Yeah.
got your back no matter what. They're gonna stand by you, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
always be there for you, and be there with you through thick and thin, and always are boosting you up and holding you up.
Mm.
And that's kinda what happens with the band, is they all have their own struggles, they all have their own issues, but
Right.
together, they all have their things going on, but when they come together is when they're the strongest.
You're right.
And,
Wow.
the 2 of the main characters, John and Danny, they just, form this strong
Hmm.
relationship that they are able to meet adversaries and like the antagonist together.
Mm. Wow. I
And
think that's something
so
to people that will look forward, right?
I just well, that was one of the biggest things, was that knowing that there's somebody that's got your back, who accepts you for who
Mm-hmm.
you are, no matter what.
Exactly. And I think that's actually happening, in real life. So people can definitely relate it because we all know that we have someone that actually got our backs. It might be, our brother, sister, or just friends, right? And
Yeah.
that is amazing. You definitely make your, make a fiction book wherein people can definitely learn something from it, not just the story of, the music, but also something that they can definitely apply to their daily lives. And that's awesome. I
Yeah,
love that.
because
I love that idea.
it's a coming when it's really more a coming of age story,
Yeah.
because
I see.
these guys are like, just starting college, and they're
Mm.
still learning who they are. They're still trying to find their place in the world, trying to find their,
Mm-hmm.
where do I belong? What do I do? They know they've
Right.
got, they're already coming up against, the whole thing about, well, it's great that you want to play music, but what are you going to do for a
Mm-hmm.
living? How are you going to make
Afterwards.
your money? You know, I mean,
Right.
you know, how do
Practicality.
and especially for men back in the 1950s, it was all about,
Yeah,
what are you gonna do to support your family and take care of your wife? And I
exactly.
mean, there was a lot of pressure and stress on the men. I think a lot of people look at the women and, you know, how women were held back and held down, and, you were expected to be this happy little housewife and stay home and raise babies.
Uh,
But, on the other end of the coin, I mean, that for a man, that'd be a lot of responsibility to hold up to. You're responsible
right.
for your house, your kids, your wife, and how are you going to make that happen?
Definitely.
And how are you going to support? And then, so much media, so much, like, even the TV shows were all about the perfect family unit. And then it's like, even in the magazines, the advertising, everything. And so it's like
Everywhere, yeah.
when you're just a regular average human being and you're measuring yourself against that yardstick, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, how do I hold up? What do
Right.
how do I make this work? I'm like, you feel like you failed somehow. So
Exactly.
so not only are they facing the coming of age things, they're facing all these things coming from family
Things.
and everywhere else.
Everywhere. Wow. That's actually, I mean, I just remember I watched a movie. I forget what's the title. That's the same, like, the same kind of situation. I mean, this is like something that I can relate to because they're also a band, being in the same situation, coming of age, growing up, having family responsibilities and all. So yes, I think that doesn't just stop there on your book, but I think right now it's evident in most of people, definitely those who are in the music industry. And we know exactly music industry, it not is not that fast. And when you sing there, when you play there, it's not that fast that you'll get a lot of hundreds there afterwards, right? So you have family to feed, so
Right.
you have responsibilities. So yeah, it's a matter of juggling how to make it right. And I guess by reading your book, pretty sure people will definitely relate into that situation, and then will probably they can find something to pick up and then apply it to themselves if they are in the verge of learning how to manage it. Then hopefully they can learn from Rebecca Hendricks.
Yeah, and there's an element of romance. There's
Oh,
romance too. So it's like, trying to, when you're young and you're trying to navigate that too,
yeah. Oh
you
wow,
know,
this book is a lot.
having your first girlfriend, and what is that
Mm,
like? And or
amazing. I mean,
even having a serious relationship, how do I navigate that? I don't even know what I'm
wow,
doing. So they
right.
have each other to talk to about it, because one has experience and one doesn't, or one has
Yeah,
experience in this area and this one doesn't.
yeah,
So
yeah.
talking together, they can, they help each other figure it out. And I
My
think
God, you
that's
make me so
awesome.
excited. You make me so excited to definitely open this book.
I think it's awesome.
Yes, I guess so. I mean, I look forward to definitely read this book. But then again,
Thank you.
before we wrap up this interview of right now, I know for sure that people is actually excited to get a copy of your book, and they also wanted to hear some message from the author itself. Can you tell everyone what they can get from this book, and also share to them what impact that it gives to you, to your life right now?
I think the biggest message, or one of the biggest messages from the book, is hope, and to believe in yourself, and
Mhm.
don't let yourself get pigeonholed into like a little box. Be who you are, be true to yourself, and even if it's not the most popular thing among others, be true to you,
Mhm.
because as you get older, you kind of start to realize that. When you're young, you're like, oh, you're trying to do all these things and be all everybody to everybody. And when
Right.
as you get older, it's like, it's really about being true to yourself and who you are on the inside, and
Exactly.
just doing good, and being happy.
That's amazing. Yes, everyone take note of the word hope. I mean, I think everybody needs that, right? Well, That was an incredible story to share, Rebecca, and thank you very much for sharing this one to us. I hope everyone is thrilled to, witness your live sessions so that they can hear a lot about you,
Yeah. Yeah.
about your book, Hound Dog. So, for everyone's information, Rebecca will be joining the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 5 this upcoming January 22nd to February 4. She'll be doing her live sessions. You can definitely ask questions if you want to. If you have questions right now, then you can definitely throw it to Rebecca during her live sessions. And of course, she'll definitely answer it, right?
Yes, I
On
will.
time.
For sure. I
Absolutely.
love questions. I love questions.
Wow. That's awesome. So
I
see
love
that she's very
interaction.
she's excited. She's excited to, interact with the readers, with those, book enthusiasts who definitely wanted to know more about Hound Dog and the author itself, Rebecca Hendricks. And by the way, before I forget, you can get a copy of her book through Amazon for ebook. Ebook itself is only available in Amazon. There you go. And then paperback and hardcover, you can get it in Amazon as well and Barnes and Noble. And you can check her out in her website, www.rebeccahendricksauthor.com. So you can read blogs. I believe you have written blogs right there, Rebecca.
I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
And I'm also under Rebecca Hendricks author on both Facebook and Instagram.
There you go. You can follow her through Facebook and Instagram. You can definitely connect to her directly if you wanted to.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So let's all be ready to know more about the book Hound Dog. All right. Once again, this is Jean, and in Reader's Magnet, we say we share your story with the world.